toast. Scoot this down a little bit. Angles are important. Ooh. We've got some toast with butter and jam. Good stuff. What are we going to talk about today? I kind of want to get into like, David, how are you? Dude, pickups will be going out shortly. Probably early mid next week. I realize that I am out of the boxes that I need to ship them in. Not like the shipping boxes, but they kind of come in a box, and I need to order some more boxes. So I'm going to do that. Let's write that on our envelope of notes of stuff to do. Order boxes. And then I can send them out to you, along with everyone else who was so nice to order some pickups. And that's something we can talk about. We had a sale throughout October. For pickups. People ordered some. People like them. And I like that. This is a great testimonial. I realize that, Catfish, how are you? Pickups. I know that we can do a better job of kind of promoting these things. We can do a better job of promoting damn near everything. But, it was not really something that I guess we don't really lean into very much. Because we do use our own. And they're good. And, everybody's got their secret formula, so to speak, of like, and you see this in like comments on guitar pictures all the time. Oh man, if I had that, I'd put a blah, blah, blah in it. I get it. But like, you haven't even heard this guitar yet. I mean, it doesn't matter because like, whatever. You don't own it. But like, give it a shot. You'll probably like it. It probably sounds good. That's like one of those things where, now my disclaimer, it's not always so much a disclaimer, but it's like, I realize that some folks, they've got like a specific rig setup, and all of the guitars that are pre-existing in that setup, they all kind of work together in a certain way, and you want to maintain some consistency. Or maybe you don't. I have excellent manners. So I mean, like, I get that to an extent. But like, no, give them a shot. We like to play around with magnets. While everything comes with a standard Alnico 5, because I like the 5s the most. I think Alnico 5s are a nice starting point. They're responsive. You can get a little compressed the hotter you wind them, but that's pickups in general. I just like the 5 as a nice starting point. And although I really like 8s, 8s are fun. And because it's just like, rah! Have you ever like wrong piped yourself? Of course you have. We're people. I totally just wrong piped myself breathing, and it's that's fun. I think Adam did that the other day at the shop where it was yesterday. I don't know. He was just drinking, drinking water, and it went down the wrong pipe, and then he just lost his mind. And David's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Because we thought, we thought we were going to lose him. So that's what I just did. I want to have some coffee, but maybe I need to just kind of give everything a minute. This is off to a great start. Hank, good morning. Gavin, good morning. Yeah, I kind of wanted to get into like, this is awesome. Kind of wanted to talk about like, I don't know, building stuff today. I don't usually like talking about, well, it's not that I don't usually like talking about that stuff. I don't mind it, but like my days of wanting to talk shop on the internet are long, long, long gone. But this week was a productive week. I'm still. Rex, hello. Water. Well, yeah, I would like to kind of have a drink of something, but I don't know that I'm at the point right now where I want to introduce water or liquid into this kind of situation right now. Phil gets it. I'm shouting. Let's stop. You've wrong piped yourself all week. Yeah, that's no good. It's like a little piece of toast. I think I wrong piped myself with a little piece of toast. What are they talking about? Today, this was a productive week. I know last weekend when I had that 622 FR, the in the last video, the seafoam green over shell pink, sullied finish. So we completed that guitar on Monday, shipped it out, and so that was guitar number 50 for this year, and that's pretty good. That's really good. That is the most amount of guitars that we've completed in a year. I'm happy about that. Finished 51 yesterday, and I know that I already kind of talked about this, but let's see. As I look at my little web app, I guess, I don't know, that I use for project management, promoting synergy. As I look at right now, we've got 11 guitars in the assembly phase. That's pretty dope. So that means if we get all of those done, which we will, like if we get nothing else back from paint, which we will, before the end of the year, if we just finish the 11 that we've got right now, that'll put us at 62 for the year. That's kind of nuts. Now, I understand for many other companies, that's like, dude, that's a problem. You need to do more. And I get it, but it's the most we've done. Mark. Yeah. Hey, Joey. We were just talking about your guitar. That is guitar number 50 that we completed this year. And like I said, finished one yesterday, so we're at 51. And yeah, so I hope this goes away. We'll be in the 60s. I'm gonna feel real good about that. I'm gonna take some time and feel good about that. So, um, uh, no. So that's a good question. Well, um, the I don't count the conspiracy series guitars in the number of guitars we complete in a year because, um, well, because I don't. Um, because I mean, we didn't make those ones, so um, no. So that's just stuff we've made here. So that's 622, 624s, Charlotte, like all the stuff that we make here. And this year, I like to look at what models we make most out of in a year, and I thought that this year I thought that the most common built guitar this year was going to be 624s, and this is really driving me crazy. I figured it was going to be like 624s, 622s, 625s, the 620s. The 620s. Dude, right? We're going to call this one Wrong Pipe. But I was wrong. It's a really good mix of like all of the models, which I'm really happy about. We've done, a fair amount of trellas. We've done a fair amount of. It's funny that I'm getting kind of used to calling them that now, but we've just done a really nice spread of all of the models, which I was not expecting, and I am pretty happy about that. I don't think I know we didn't have as many Ravens this year, and I've noticed lately that Ravens maybe aren't quite as popular right now, which is, I mean, that's the thing. But yeah, so it was a really nice, it's been a really nice mix so far, and that is cool. I'm happy about that. Let's see, another thing that I'm happy about. We have all but one of the guitars that will be at NAMM they're either completed or in the assembly stage. So that, we had two come back yesterday. And David had commented, like, oh, cool, or, is there any still coming back? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh man, we're getting really close. And I'm like, dude, there are guitars that I've had at NAMM that like I started building in December. So that is what we're doing this year is really great. So I'm, in what we're doing this year, what I mean is, getting them completed and ready to go. So I don't have to worry about finishing stuff at the show. Because that's kind of what I've done all the times that I've gone, except for this time. So yeah, we'll have a nice mix of pretty shiny stuff, a nice mix of worn in stuff, and I think the models that we will have are a nice representation of what we do. And that's good. I think, one of the things about the show is that I try, and I'm often not as successful as I'd like to be, I try to pick the colors for the show. And what I mean by that is if you have a bunch of black guitars, they're not really going to show up. You're not, because especially if your booth is dark colored and you don't have bright backgrounds, contrast for these things to stand out against. You don't want to have dark guitars, and that was something that I realized. And this one wasn't super important, but there was a summer NAMM show. I have 2014 on the mind, but I know that's wrong. It's maybe 2016 or 2017. I didn't go to the show as an exhibitor, but I had a guitar in the boutique guitar showcase, like the first year that they did it, and it was a trans purple Raven. And it was one of those things where it was a guitar that nobody owned, and somebody gave me a thumbs up. That is what? What? Did you see that? It was like a little thumbs up that showed up like right by my face. How did that happen? And so it was this trans purple guitar, and as I saw the pictures from the showcase, everything is black, and it's like the guitar. I mean, there was no reason for it to be there because you didn't see it. So I try and think of colors. Now there are certain builds like it's just like I'm making this. It's going to be it's going to be this thing, and it's going to be this color, and sometimes that doesn't really work. But you got to have some stuff that stands out. And David's watching, and see, now this is a very David thing to say. All green next NAMM. David loves green. He loves the color green, and I love that about it. So yeah. But as far as the colors go, some of it skews a little darker, but I think we've got a nice blend. It's been really hard not to share photos because it's really hard for me not to do that, to share photos, because like I get excited about these things, and then there are algorithms that I have to feed, and I know that people like progress photos. But like I also don't want to not have a surprisey kind of thing, Now, to be fair, so Will just mentioned the Astro. So we will have an Astro at the booth. It's not that one that I've shared before, because that was the first prototype, and there's a couple of things that needed to be addressed with that one. So, we just made another one just like it. So now that prototype is rad. It's a super dope guitar. But we decided, I decided to make another one painted the same color. So it's gonna, so that is something that you have seen that will be at NAMM. But everything else, I haven't, there haven't been any spoilies. Although, Mark, if you're still watching, I think I showed you pictures of one of the guitars that I'm taking to the show. So there are, I like to have something that is kind of just bonkers for the show. Like, 1 year when I did the Ace Frehley themed lightning bolt guitar, that was, I do need to make more of those. And like, we've got the blanks glued up. It's just, I gotta tell you, and neck-throughs are just such a fucking pain in the ass for us to make. They're just a pain in the ass. And it's like, the juice is really not worth the squeeze, because it's like, you squeezing like that. What's so hard about it? You just make a really long neck. I know. But so we had one of those, and then like we did a Raven that was like completely flaked out in blue with the fretboard, and try and come up with some eye-catchy stuff. And there's I mean, they're all going to be eye-catchy, I think. But yeah, so good times. I'm looking forward to it. Astro was hot. The picture was hot. Yes, I did. I did. So Mark, you are still here. 624T. Oh, oops. Oh. What else we can do in seafoam green is shell pink in next. Okay, and then so Will is saying 624T. Yeah. That blue flaked raven with the painted fretboard is cool. Would you like to see it? Sure, I'll go get it. Talk amongst yourselves. I don't have a topic, but yeah, I'll be right back. Yeah. Yes, it did. I thought that we might want some for later. Oh. Oh shit. Okay. I'm doing great. So this isn't going to be as funny to you as it is to Mrs. Sully and I at the moment, but I was making some toast. You know, the toast that almost killed me. I was making some toast, and I poured myself some coffee, and I realized, we're just about out of coffee. Maybe I should make some extra coffee. So I emptied out the filter all over the floor. No, threw it away, and I put the thing back in there. I got the coffee out. Maybe did I put the coffee in the filter? No. Okay, so basically, I've just kind of set it up for someone to make coffee. Okay, so I put the filter basket back in there. There's a coffee bag. The bag of coffee is like on the counter. The cabinet is still open. I am not a cabinet lever opener. But so I must have finished my toast, or the toast must have popped up, and I was in the middle of that task, and I completely forgot about it. So as I was going to get this, Mrs. Sully said, "Did you mean to make coffee?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I thought it'd be nice for us to have some extra." And I look over at the counter. I'm like, "Oh, I never started it. Never even started it. Didn't put the water in." Yeah. So you had to be there. Anyway, so yeah, this is Nam. Did I write it in here? No. Did I write it in? Oh, no. It's under the pickup. So serial numbers get stamped into the end of the fretboard, and this is painted. So I'm not going to do that. Was this? I think this was NAM 29. No, maybe this was 19 or 20. This was. I'm trying to think. Was this done at the same time as the Ace guitar? I can consult the resources. Here, hang on. Let's see. Let's see here. Oh, yep. Here's the answer. Right there. NAM 2019. Okay, so we know that this guitar was there at NAM 2019. Nice little photo books. I like making photo books. Let's see. The 2019 lineup. Okay, we got it here. God, I got a lot of guitars in that. Yeah, okay. So when we look at the 2019 custom lineup here, yeah, you can see. So we have this is Trans Purple Flame. That's the Glamazon Trella that Michael Sweet has. This is this is Black Unicorn Sparkle 71 Trella. That's the Blue Raven right here. That's the little Ace Lightning Bolt. And here's a Stardust Deluxe with a Wingate top. Let's see. Okay, and then so here's another. There's another Stardust Deluxe with a Koa top. Perfecto has this one. These are all Conspiracy Series guitars. So we've got, let's go this way. Conspiracy Series 624 prototype, 624T prototype. So Chris Stark has this one. Chef B has this one. Greg got this one. I don't know where it wound up. Caitlin from Monty has this one, and that's a 71 SD that I think that's just mine. I don't know. That must have just been extra. And then we've got 71 Starling. This is hard. So it's hard to tell. This is like showing. It's like story time with Sully. It's white, but it's really this is. It's white over. It's a trans white flame. That's an elite. Is this the baritone? Let's see. No, that's a standard. Right? Yeah. So these are Run 2 prototypes. So Ramon from Wednesday 13 has this. Perfecto has this one. And this is Raven with a Flight. I think this just got sold. So yeah. Oh, and there's Adam with Greg and Rob from Tessie Switch. That's a Champagne Sparkle Raven that Greg's playing. Fun story about this one. This particular guitar was originally intended for Nikki Sixx. When we were making, he wanted 2 Ravens. So I made the first one. Yeah. Yeah, I think he wanted 2 because it's got dot inlays, and that was something that he wanted. He's like, I want dots. I'm like, hey, slashes. I want dots. Slashes. They take up the same amount of visual space. I know, but I want dots. I'm like, oh, Dottie. So I had that in woodwork. I think I was going to make him 2 Ravens. Yeah, because I think he wanted one. Oh, man, I've got it in messages. I think he wanted one that was going to be like TV yellow. And so I started on both. And then it was going to be, no, I think I want a 71. I'm like, okay. And then I had a white one. He's like, can I check it out? Do you have one I can check out? I'm like, I do. And I had the trans white one that I sent to him. And then Stevie grabbed it from him about like an hour after it showed up. But let's see. Yeah, so this is a nice fun book. So this was a nice morning. So that's me and Mike Shannon and his son Travis. Now, I have a photo of the 3 of us together in 2003, and like Travis was 16, and he was just kind of learning like building and stuff like that. But yeah, Shannon, Mike, he's comes by, so he has nice little pictures, interviews and stuff. I like making these books. They're fun. Let's see if we have anything. It says me and Tim Wilson, also Jackson dude. That's saying he was a Jackson dude is really like saying Keith Richards kind of liked to party. What else we got? Is there anything else fun in here? Oh, here's Stevie when he got his 92. Yeah. That's from when we presented it. We did a little signing. And, you can tell he really liked it. So those are fun. So I have, I like to make these books. They're fun. And there's nice little photo recreations there. And then that sums it up. So story time with Sully. So that was 2019. So yeah, here's that Raven. It was an involved build because I've talked about this sort of thing before, where the fretboard was made first. The fretboard was sent out to be painted, and then I glued the fretboard to the neck, completed the rest. Glued the fretboard to the neck, got the frets in, flush beveled, and then that takes some of the clear coat off the sides. So it's one of the reasons that I don't like doing repair work. It's just because I got to be careful enough with what I do. I don't need to be extra careful. And so then the entire guitar is built and then sent off to paint. And I do that because now the easiest way was would be for me. The easiest way for me would be just to build the guitar like I would build any other guitar, and then send it out to paint, and then it'll get flaked. However, now I am a monster, but I'm not so much of a monster that I would have paintwork shot over frets. So much cleanup. It's just that's just bad form. So that's the deal with this. And apparently it needs a control cavity cover. I can find one of those. Yeah, rad guitar. It's fun. Super lightweight. Made the whole thing out of basswood. Yeah, but I've talked about that already. You know what? Let's just put that here. Let's see what else. So I have a book. So I have this one, and then I have a 2020 book. Yeah, I like them. I like making photo albums. I like hanging, like framing pictures and stuff like that. I think that might come from Catfish. You can attest to this. When we were teenagers, and you kind of like cover your walls in posters and stuff. Catfish enjoyed framing things too. I seem to recall. Yeah. So so then with all of those pictures that we took at the show, and then eventually Perry would always have someone, like an actual photographer, taking pictures, and then so that was a lovely kind of extra, because it's nice to have someone that actually knows what they're doing, that can take some nice photos and stuff. So I took all those, and I'm like, let's make a book. And so so that's what I did. Cool story, right? So anyway, let's see. Oh, let's see. We've got lots of stuff. I love the 624T. Oh. I think of all of the models that we make, I think there's like the fewest of 624Ts. 624Ts are revolutions, although the revolutions are picking up. Supernovas. There aren't many custom supernovas yet. There's one in process right now for our buddy that's going to be pretty dope. Yeah. Cool story. 624T. Yeah, I like them too. I think it was one of those that I just kind of made it just to make one. I've never been a telly kind of guy, but I remember. So DJ Nelson has the first one, and I don't know. I just had an idea to just take a 624 template and just round the bit up on top and not change anything else. And what's funny, so this was 10 years ago. And what's funny to me is when Washburn came out with the Nelly, the Nuno Telly, they had the same exact idea. They just took an N4 and they just did the roundy bit up top. So like, there's a part of me that's like, if I start like making these things, internet comments are just the worst. And even like when people aren't even trying to be like rude, you can post a picture of something. Oh my God, that looks just like, and I'm like, this is why vision benefits are important, people. Get your eyes checked. That sort of stuff always drives me up the wall. But yeah, so there's going to be, if we start making more of those, people will be like, oh, it looks like a Nelly. Like, you know what? You look like a Nelly. So that'll just be my answer. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. Saw that at Larkin 29. That was 2019. Yeah. I have no concept of time. Clean, sleek. Yes. It is. That was it. Okay. I see. Now I should have just waited. because like I was going to get the guitar and you guys were answering my questions, so I didn't really need to do it. Beautifully sparkly, it is. See, now let's look at this. Let's talk about this for a second. It's comments like these. And now I can give him a hard time because we've known each other since we were like, I don't know, -3. Just say that looks sweet. You don't have to, like, I don't care if you're a huge fan of blue or not. I mean, unless, no, it doesn't, that doesn't matter to me. Just say that looks sweet. Right? Mm-hmm. Sorry. Coffee table Sully book. Yeah, you know, and I've thought about kind of like making these things available, but like, you know, like this, so, you know, it opens up. So like there's the back of the van all packed up. Is that little Tiberius? No, it's before we got Tiberius. And you know, it's like it's like the whole, you know, so there's me and Adam loaded up. There we are driving across the wastelands of Texas. There's a lot of wastelands, you know, rest stop photos, you know, set up, you know, but it's kind of like stuff that like, you know, I don't know that the average person are going to want, you know, like pictures of, you know, randos. I mean, not really randos. I mean, I know all of these people in here, but like, you know what I'm saying? Well, you could just like make books out of like actual guitars. That's not you saying that. That's just me saying that to myself, of like how we could, you know, make these things more palatable for the general public. But yeah, I've kind of thought about it. They're expensive to make. See, this was after NAMM. I like this picture of my shoes on the beach. Kind of fun. Let's see what else. here's me and Adam. A romantic getaway. So that's, you know, nobody really wants. Well, this one's kind of nice. It's, you know, sitting in front of, you know, paying a visit. Oh, I liked this picture too of like my shoes and the bike. And like, you know, there was like this orange kind of rust color, and then there's like rust stains on the concrete. I thought that was cool. Here's like a sticker on a gas pump telling me I'm beautiful. I'm like, who doesn't want that sort of thing in their lives? Yeah. So, I have thought about, you know, making books. Also like, this would be something that I would really enjoy. It's something that I thought about like at the beginning of this year. And it's really just been a question of time. You know, they say everything is solved with either time or money or both. In this case, it's mostly just time. There's this company that like they'll like make magazines for you. Now, Catfish, you know, we love some periodicals. And I thought that like a quarterly kind of thing would be super rad. And like you know, a lot of these companies, like if you want to have like books made, there are a ton of companies that like do that sort of thing for you. Or they have like a builder. You just kind of put the pictures in and arrange them however you want, add your own text, you know, template based stuff. I think this company has, they do, now that I remember it, but like, it wasn't quite as immediately user friendly as I would like it to be. But you know, I thought it would be super cool because like we could, you know, I think of like that blog post I did for my friend Pat's guitar. That was the one with the really ornate Muka inlay, and you know, it was a very special guitar build. Had quite a story behind it, so I wrote this rather long post about it. Like that would go in a magazine, you know, and there are all kinds of builds like like now at least, that have stories behind them. And it would be a cool place to share those because, it would be cool. And maybe like at the end of the year, there's like, or maybe like the first quarter is like, here's how all the guitars that we did, in the previous year, maybe some NAMM stuff, blah 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 blah. Any discussions about any new models, you get the point. Like there's, and it doesn't have to be like super long or anything. But that would be so cool. I would love to do that. Okay, let's see. What else we got? One day I'll have my own volume. The Sully Encyclopedia set. Yeah, you're getting there. Oh, yeah, no, I'm not a Cubs guy. But greetings to Wisconsin. That's the answer. That is the answer. Yes, that is correct. Oh, then you know what? Then maybe that Mint Stardust. Yeah. That all went. Those two went to Chile. Okay, yes. So Caitlin has one of those in Mint, but yeah, the one in the book that went down your way. That is correct. He hates the Cubs, as seen by the White Sox shirts he's wearing. I've softened on all of that a bit. I won't cheer for them, but like like when the Cubs finally got around to winning a World Series, I didn't. It's fine. I'm not mad about it. I'm not a fan of the White Sox, but I'm a fan of you. I love those 92s. That makes one of us. Adam, how are you? Thanks for letting me play Rio on it. Absolutely. Oh, dude, I forgot about that. Yeah. That was a good time. That was a really good time. That was a fun little, not a little show, but yeah, that was a super good time. Totally. Fucking A. The book is a cool history. Yes, I think so. Will's laughing. No concept of time. The last 4 years or so have been a very long decade. Yeah, that is true. Even before 2020 all over everyone, once I started, once I became self-employed, my concept of like the days got real fluid. I know there was one time I needed to do some work on one of Stevie's guitars, and they were touring, and it needed a little bit of fretwork. So I got the guitar back, and they were going to be in Nashville. That was going to be like the closest date to where I was at that time. And so I got the work done, and my plan was, okay, so I'll drive up to Nashville. That's a 10-hour drive from here. And up until recently, I enjoy the hell out of a road trip. And so yeah, I think the show was on a Saturday. It doesn't matter, but like, so I had, long story short, I wound up getting out there a day early because my concept of time was whack. And then like also like that same weekend, like Wednesday 13 was in town, and I was going to bring some guitars for them to check out and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, okay, I'm going to go see Wednesday, and then I'm going to start driving. I'll actually stop. I won't drive straight to Nashville. I'll stop in like Arkansas when it gets dark, because that's what you do. And then I'll get up, and then I'll drive the rest of the way to Nashville. I'll get to the venue around noon. That'll be great. They'll be loaded noon or 1 o'clock. They load in around that same time, and great. And so I get to Nashville. I get to the venue, and it's like 1 o'clock, and there's no sign of anyone not getting like low. There's no bus. There's no trucks. There's no nothing. It's just like a regular day, maybe like a regular lunch thing. And I'm like, so I called Stevie or messaged him or whatever. I'm like, hey, I'm at the venue, and he's like, oh, okay, we're at the hotel. Here's the hotel. I'm like, okay. And the plan was, I'll drop the guitar off, I'll hang out with them, and I'll come back the next day. And so I am like, well, I'm going to need a hotel. So now I know the hotel that they're at. So I get in the parking lot. I get on Expedia. I get a room. I check in. I text Steve. I'm like, all right, man, I'm in room. I was in room 624. Go figure. And they were in the next room down the hall. And he's like, okay, yeah, we're in this one. I'm like, okay. There's like no sense of urgency. Like there's not like, I'm like, what am I missing? And so, we reconnect and get him the guitar. He's like, oh man, it's great. And by now it's like 2, like we're like between like 1 or 2. I'm like, you should be loaded in. Like sound check is usually between like 3 and 4 or so. I'm like, what is, so you want to go get some lunch? I'm like, okay. And so we go get lunch or we go to get lunch, and I remember I'm like, what time is sound check? And he's like, the show's tomorrow, right? I'm like, no. No. So I texted Mrs. Sully. I'm like, so I'm here a day early, and yeah. And she said, you need a handler. You need a handler. So yeah. I have really no time. Lots of wastelands. Yeah, Texas is lousy with them. Live videos while you were driving was awesome. I think one of my favorite silly bits was the phone call to Santa on the banana. I think that was a good time. White Tiger. Oh, that's right. It's your boy, White Tiger and bubble wrap dick. Let's see. Yes, we do love periodicals. Hey, we've got a subscriber. We've got one. Love guitar stories. Yep. It would be rad. It would be super, super rad. Yeah, right. Yeah. So I want to say that there may have been another instance of that, but no, I don't know. They're maybe not quite to that extent, but my grip on that sort of thing is tenuous at best. Yeah. What else? So I've got my list so on like Monday, I'm looking at 4 guitars that are going to wind up with strings on, and we'll get them in the queue for some pleckery. And then the next batch of stuff is NAMI stuff, some Concord stuff, kind of clearing the decks on some old ass woodwork that needed to be taken care of. So that's good. Getting that stuff out to paint. Yeah, good times. Time check. All right, we're at 49:23. Did I tell you the votes on the Kiss competition? No, I don't. I just like to see what everybody says. I think that is the undisputed best Kiss guitarist. You want to hear my take? Sure, we're all here. Ace is obviously the most iconic. Ace is the foundation. I think as far as lead guitar capabilities, you see, and then you've got like as shreddability, we'll say. I think there's really only 3. You got Bruce, you got Vinny, you got Mark St. John. Mark St. John you know, that didn't work out super great for him. That must have been such a bummer because, like, he finally gets in like a huge band, records an album, and then like he gets this problem with his hand. He can't play. Oh, that sucks. But I think like, okay, so Vinny only works if you can restrain him, which I think is evidenced. That's not the right word, but which I think is the proof of that is in the Vinnie Vincent Invasion records. And so I think, and like I only listened to the first one. We talked about this, I think, the last one before. Those songs are good. The lyrics are terrible, but like so are Kiss lyrics. But I think a lot of those songs on that first Invasion record are absolutely things that would have worked either on Lick It Up or on the album after. Also, that would have been what Animalize had Vinny stayed in the band, because it sounds very much like that. So I think that's testament to Vinny's songwriting capabilities and what he was able to be part of on Creatures of the Night. And I know Creatures of the Night was like an album by committee, not just guitar players, but writers. And Bryan Adams helped out with some stuff there. And, they were auditioning lead guitar players on that album. And so, so I would give it to Vinny, but like, what he did on in the Invasion albums, that's like an instant disqualification. Because this matters. This is dumb. And so, as far as like the 80s lead guitar players, I got to give it to Bruce. Because he was there the longest. I think he was a much better utility player than, so Tommy Thayer is similar. Like Tommy Thayer's he's fine. But like, and I think Tommy is like the glue that kind of made the current version possible. I think in that same vein, Bruce was the glue, or at least the utility guy, which I think is kind of like what Joey's saying here. Bruce is reliable. I think like Bruce was like the utility guy, and like it's not to say that he didn't have his standouts on their albums. Now, admittedly, when Crazy Nights came out, I remember the world premiere video on Headbangers Ball, and I'm like, this is awful. This sounds like a beer commercial. And so I was out. So I didn't get Crazy Nights. I didn't get Hot in the Shade. I like some stuff on Revenge. I don't think Revenge is as good as, well, I mean, it's fine. Like, I think there are some really good songs in there. I think Unholy is like the best song on that album, hands down. And like Bruce's solo on that is outstanding. But like, so if we go back to Hot in the Shade, like Forever, Bruce's solo on that is gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. And the way, like what he's playing is just lovely. And how it sounds, like that guitar, that particular guitar that, however it was mic'd and whatever, it's just, it's lovely. That is a lovely, lovely solo. It's beautiful. So yeah, I got to give it to Bruce for that era. I think, so it's not one person, because like Ace is not the best guitar player in Kiss. He's by far the coolest, best look. He had the coolest costumes. He had the best makeup of the band. That is just undeniable. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah, see, I remember you. Yeah, you liked Revenge. Revenge will always hold a special place. Yeah. Yep. Ooh, live stream will end in 5 minutes. Brian checking in. Bruce is the second greatest. Yeah. I don't think he did the Ace stuff very well. But like, I don't think he was, I have a feeling that when they were playing the old stuff, the makeup era stuff in the non-makeup era, I have a I wonder if they felt like that material was like, this is our old shit. You don't have to play it note for note. Just get in the zone. There. Kind of like on the first couple of Ozzy, the first couple of Ozzy tours, where Randy and Tommy, they didn't want to play the Black Sabbath songs, so they would just play whatever. And like Randy would just improvise the solos and just fart around because he didn't care. And I wonder if like some of that carried over. Although like on Alive 3, which is that's a good Kiss live record. I don't know how much of it's live, but I think those solos on like the old stuff, I think Bruce did a nice job. But like, I don't know, I'm kind of speculating because like I didn't see them live during that era. But I don't know. I remember like the Kiss Animalized Live Uncensored MTV concert. Everybody do it with me. That is a real niche joke. But anyway, yeah. A lot of guys oh God, they can't all be Badios. Super nice dude from all accounts, but yeah, I don't ever want to hear that. Kind of like Vinnie Vincent to me. It's like jackhammer porn. Okay, now you have to do your Ace impression by standing up and holding a guitar. You know what? We'll end this. So at the Arlington guitar show a couple weeks ago, a buddy of mine, who's next to us, he asked if I knew the Deuce choreography. I'm like, of course. And then I had to break down like how you like stand like Ace, how you do it. So let's grab a guitar. Okay, Joey, it's the strap that you gave me is with my silver guitar in the other room. So this is the nearest strap I've got, which is a super dope strap from my buddy Rodrigo. Okay, I'm gonna move this chair out of the way. Okay, so don't be jealous because you don't have houndstooth pants like I do. So now to stand like Ace, well, we got to get the guitar a little lower, but this is as low as this one's going to go. But you gotta stand pigeon-toed, and so your knees go in a little bit. So you bend your knees, and then you're just kind of anchored. You're just kind of anchored on your knees, and then you go. How did that go? Then. So it's da na na back forth back forth na 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 back forth, and then so then you're just kind of operating from like this, and you're just like a palm tree in a storm. Just like that. And that's how you Ace Frehley. That's how you do it. This is a great spot to end. We've covered a lot. Magazines would be a great idea. I would love to make that happen. And it's really like one of those things where I know that I don't have time to do it. I really wish that I did. The strap can go down a little further. See what happens when you make snap judgments. Sometimes you're wrong. Yeah. The nitro stuff. Yeah, this needs to be, I don't know, I'd say esoteric.